Hello world, my name is Itumeleng Modise, you can call me Sola, and today we're doing something a little bit different. We're out in the streets. I am here in Bram on a very cold Saturday, might I add, and we're here to investigate influence, okay? What is influence, right? What does it mean to you? What influences you? Who influences you? And I feel like Bram is the perfect place to do that because it's kind of like a hotspot when it comes to influencers and the influencer lifestyle. So we're here to hear from a few people, see what their thoughts are on this topic. So yeah, come with me.
I feel like I look high.
No, you look fine.
Tired.
We want you at your elements. So, Bess,
Yes.
according to you, what is influence?
Influence is basically just having the ability to change someone else's mindset. Kind of like putting them on, like being able to make them see things from your perspective, I suppose. Yeah.
Influence is basically the power people, or it can be objects, brands, the power that they have to redirect some decision from another decision. Basically.
One of the most influential people in Bram, I'd say, according to me, Pumelelo Fry Pan Mfula, what's up, Pumelelo? I'm chilling. He is the founder of RHTC and the Playground store right here in Bram. They have amazing stuff. Pumi, what is influence to you?
Influence is like just helping other people make decisions about what they really like, by steering them to the right direction or wrong direction sometimes.
Influence would be, I would like to believe that that's a person maybe under a subject matter that has some type of authority, that has something to say, that people are interested in knowing either that person's opinion on a subject matter or just generally that person is an expert in a specific field, and as a result can be called an influencer, or whose opinion weighs just a little bit heavier than mine and yours.
I'm here with my Bito.
Yes.
How are you, Bito? Her name is Itumeleng, just like me. Terracotta Cells on Instagram. She is an amazing illustrator, designer, just
Alles, bro.
nice things. She's just
Yeah.
Itu, what is influence to you?
Influence is like a synonym for me in terms of like inspiration. Who you look up to, who you look at so that they can inspire whatever it is that you do. So for me, I look at certain artists that inspire me. I'm also an interior designer, so I look at certain interior design companies that inspire me. So influence comes with looking at something certain that inspires you to do something that you love.
What influences you personally?
Girl, I influence my dancing. I'm my own influencer.
So you don't see anything out there that you gravitate towards that affects the way you make your decisions, or the clothes you wear, or the music you listen to?
Not people. I guess like music as like
That's why I said
a
what?
thing on its own.
What?
Yeah, it influences me a little bit. I mean, because from how I'm feeling to like today's weather, gray
Yeah.
skies, is gonna like I'm gonna be influenced to listen to like a certain type of music just
Yeah.
based off of the environment that I'm in and how I'm feeling today.
Black people influence me.
Nice.
Everything about black people. Black women, black men, black art, black music, black culture. Black people influence me. Yeah, I'd say that. But it's the truth. On my Instagram, on my surroundings, my Twitter, my social media, what I choose to consume, what I choose to engage with, it all has a very large portion to do with what's going on with black people, what's going on with black culture, what are we doing for ourselves. That's kind of what I choose to let myself engage with.
For me, a lot of things that have actually ended up happening, even the way I dress, down to the way I dress, it comes from music. Because you'll find that for me, I've never actually stopped at just listening to a song. I'll always want to know the origin of the song. And then I'll go back to the history. And then through checking the history, looking at the way that they dressed when they actually did that music. Like a jazz, you'll see that someone's wearing a beret. And I'll be like, oh, snap, that's a beret. I can actually cultivate that into my own stuff. And so that's what I've seen. Even when so even that the music that was actually at that time culminating, that actually influenced me.
Basically life, aspirations on life, from where I'm from and where I'm headed to the spaces in between, and how I transition from those phases. That is an influence for me.
These creators whose body of work just speaks much louder than other people, for instance, as far as I'm concerned, or what I'm looking for, as far as trying to find inspiration, or that one person who just talks to you, or whose work just talks to you. And such people for me locally would be from your Leroy Jasons, and I mean, these are my peers. I mean, your Leroy Jasons, from seeing the kind of work he creates, it's not like every other photographer at the moment. He has been creating work that's more socially relevant. It's not just in the fashion space, not just, like fly-by-night kind of work that you just like on a gram and you move forward. It's social commentary, and I kind of find it very inspiring. But there are other people in the music space. You find your uncle, your Malumko cat, for instance, you know what I mean? Like, has one original cat that's like creating really, really meaningful work for me. And I can always draw inspiration from such people who take very, very social and very relevant content, and they turn it into something much more interesting, and they talk to me at a local level. They are creating a narrative. The likes of Trevor Steelman, for instance, for me, seeing the kind of content that he creates for brands, and how he's changing the narrative about Africa from a fashion perspective to how we can tell the world our stories from our perspective. So those are some of the people I can mention at the moment. Internationally, there's a ton of people, but I think I'm looking locally mostly, because I think we need to look inward before we look outside. And that's where the narrative, and I would like to be part of that voice of young people, of that generation, that are starting to tell the stories or are starting to influence each other.
When we talk about people, what influences you about a person? What do you look at from a person and be like, wow, this person influences me? And I want us to focus a little bit more on, not the frilly physical things. What influences you about a person?
It's what they do in particular, like in the industry, like are they focusing on art? That way I can be able to grab some things out of it. Are they focusing on music? Is their music good? That it inspires me as well. Are they focusing on fashion? That way I want to have a fashion attires. Like, it's just what they actually do that I like something in particular in them that I'd want to have it. It also comes with like, are they sort of like a role model for me from a distance? You know what I mean? It's like, it's what they do, what they put out there to inspire other people.
I actually don't have much influences, honestly speaking. I just see what I like and then I just put it together, and that's just that. I could see it in the form of just art, painting, and want to dress something like similar to that. And yeah, that's just that. It's not necessarily that I see Tumi wearing this and then I want to wear that. Just because it looks good on Tumi doesn't necessarily mean it's going to look good on me, to get what I mean. So yeah, it's just a personal thing. With me, if I see what I like, then I just take that.
So different things and different people influence me. I think we all have different aspects to our personality. You'll have people in social media that influence you, people that influence you in your career. Black women in positions of power influence me quite a bit. My family influences me, especially my mom, and then my friends obviously influence me because these are the people that I spend time with every day. So, I mean, you choose people that are going to push you in the right direction. You choose celebrities or people in positions of power that are going to push you in the right direction. I think it's different for everyone, but my main influences are women in power, women who have families and are still doing the damn thing. Those are people that influence me.